I'm gonna have to bring all my paperwork over and we'll have to go over it on my kidney stone thing. Cause I'm not sure if
Okay.
these are the numbers that I pay or if they're supposed to be resubmitted.
Okay, yeah, bring them
I
over.
will. I don't wanna ignore them, I'm just trying to
I still got questions. I got that
figure it out.
insurance. I gotta send bills in. If we go 2 months without paying, they kind of pick it up.
I never thought about it that way.
Right, sir. Right. Yep.
Come on.
Come on.
I tried to hide in the.
Oh, you gotta get more. Sean's not in it.
No, I wanna be able to.
More.
How's this? I'll do this and then I go.
Yeah.
No. Clear that.
We need to get Jim in here too. Come on up. Let's get a group vote.
Yeah, there we go.
Eye cameras in here.
I'm in with these cameras. You pick your nose about getting caught.
Okay.
Morning.
Morning. How you doing? Books are going off the shelf. How much are they a piece now? 5 books.
28.
Get high. It was that long ago, they was like 12.
Yeah, they've been 28 for the last couple of years.
Really? What's the ones they send out free?
It's the same one. If you're listed in it, they send it out free.
Okay, gotcha.
Cause like me and Kevin aren't listed in it.
Really?
We don't get one. I don't know why everybody in Toolsboro is but us.
Hmm.
So we don't exist.
You're off the grid.
Yeah.
What are you getting?
Flat books.
I never got one.
You're probably not listed in there.
You gotta have rural property.
And he
I do.
does in Toolsboro.
Yeah, not too far from her.
Whatever this, no, Toolsville should count.
Yeah, so
What are you doing, your
those
focus?
and
No, I bought the little square, just as you go over the hill, downhill, on the right hand side, I bought that square. I'm going back home, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, right, that,
gonna put.
You guys ought to be the
Little
one
place
that
out
has.
there and mom and dad were sure tickled when I bought that property. so-
the plat book people. I've asked him before and he said that he'd make sure and get us put in and we
that
never.
when your folks sold down.
You just told you
Right
what
in
you
the
were
middle of the street.
Yeah.
or-
That's working in Moise.
Yeah, to come
Yeah.
and get,
Yeah,
it's
the whole
funny,
town is,
it's funny to look at that and where all the streets, and they got streets on the side of the bluff.
oh,
I
yeah,
don't know how they ever thought that was all gonna,
yeah,
boy, he had some wild ideas.
well, with Elric, half my fields.
Oh,
Out
it's
there
That's
is-
weird. That's weird.
Ultra light,
What is that?
it's a beer.
Somebody,
Good
and,
beer.
huh?
Michelob, ultra light. Have you had the payroll
No.
day?
Started.
Yeah, but let's do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. I'll call the meeting to order.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for April 11th and 14th.
Second,
Okay, got a motion second, all in favor?
aye. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for April 4th, 2023.
Second.
Okay, a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, let's go with the special claim. Did I hand it?
No, never did see it.
Okay,
Did you see it, Sean?
here it is. We'll start with it.
Yep.
So it looks like somebody had some classes and
The bill coming late.
in the postage box, yeah.
Do you wanna look at this?
Okay.
When you're ready, I'll make that motion, Brad.
Sure, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the special claim for April 11th, 2023.
And I'll second that.
Okay, we got a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. For payroll changes, we got two length of service, one for the treasurer's office, and one for secondary roads. So.
Have you seen them, Brad?
Yes, I have. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to accept, oh, we don't.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Okay.
there.
How about meetings attended?
Last night we had, our continuation of our emergency services council. We got some numbers kind of nailed down. We started with this particular year, Morning Sun, Wapello, and Columbus Junction all kind of forecasted to the end of the year what we felt was going to be our deficit, and the three combined come to about 129,000. Columbus Junction picking up the major portion of that. And then we extended it out to next year, which wasn't quite as bad. And then fiscal year 2025 is when we felt like some equipment was going to come in, and we deducted the county's subsidy from that, hoping that this tax would have went through by then this tax would take everything over. The negative number is 327,000. That doesn't include the county's portion, which is currently at 145,000.
Right.
So it's real similar to fiscal year 2023 if you take that subsidy out.
So the 129, just to, for I understand it, for 2024, that's with the 145 involved in that.
Yes.
Okay.
So the numbers kind of broke
Yeah.
down, and Morning Sun was 8,700, Wapello was 9,500, and Columbus Junction's 110. So we really need to get Columbus
100 or
Junction. What's that?
You said 100, you should have said 1,000.
110,000.
Yeah, you see him 8,500, 9,500.
110,000. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
95,000.
Yeah, talking in thousands here. We really need to get Columbus Junction
Well, but
squared away. I hope.
once they get that
I hope so.
so much more a call, $350 more a call, won't that
I hope so. They
straight
were
by 60,000 or?
they were saying 40 is the last number, but that really skews the numbers.
Yeah.
We got to get that sorted out, and I hope they're on the right path without nagging them to death. However, with that being said, We kind of used the fiscal year 2025 at 327. Wapello had some stuff in there for, I don't want to call it padding, but thoughts of upgrading things, and so did the other ones as well. We're gonna kind of use that number. We may add a factor in.
I think you're gonna have to.
I do too, just it's a little buffer. We did that and we added 25%, it got us to 408,000. We kind of felt like the 400,000-ish was a comfortable number, I guess, to operate them. And put enough away that we can purchase an ambulance every 4 or 5 years or some equipment.
It'd probably be, if we go 10 years on the carriage, say 255, I like what you're thinking there, so we'd look like we'd have to put another approximately 50,000 a year for just carriages for ambulances. Because I'm figuring 255 at current cost, so if you did over a 10-year period, because that's what they said that life expectancy of the carriage was, wasn't it, 10 years?
Yeah, roughly.
So if you would do 50 on top of that, I think you guys are on the right path. Yeah. And then we probably have to add a little bit of equipment on it, so. I think it's a good idea, because we have to do it like the trustees do with fire trucks. We're gonna have to nest egg back.
Yeah,
Budget so much a year
Yeah.
for a new
yeah,
in 10 years.
yeah.
That's good. Working
Well,
the right way.
at that rate, it's 60%, it's 60 cents per thousand at our current tax rate, which obviously everybody knows all that's changing now. It comes to 418,000. 54 cents is 410. That's kind of where I'm zeroing in on it now. I know there's some people in the crowd that want us to go for the full Monty, the 75 cents. I don't want to do that.
I don't need
I
it.
don't want to shoot myself in the
We
foot.
gotta have a place to go.
I want to feel like we're being responsible.
Yeah.
We're calculating what we need to survive, and no more, no less.
Yeah.
And
And the box of the cereal could change a little bit as far as how it looks today compared to what it's gonna be in 4 or 5 years. It could
well,
change.
and that was brought up, but in 4 or 5 years, in theory, the property taxes will come up a little bit, so that will help the other end
I
as
know
well.
I like to do this, Sheriff, so, yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. That was brought up too, by the way.
Yeah.
And that's the other part that has us a little bit worried is everybody's getting hit with property tax increases, not commercial, but also residential.
Every
And
side.
all people need is another potential tax stuck on them, so.
Yeah.
It's gonna be rough. But they've got some ideas about making up a fact flyer and handing out at parades and kind of really trying to get the message out. That this isn't just, I mean, it's taking away the 145,000 out of the general fund. So in theory, the county doesn't need that amount of money, it's
So
going
we can
over
lower
here,
that side.
so you're kind of changing one for the other. You're adding another tax, but in theory, you're lowering this other side, so.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know,
we gotta have this ready for get on the ballot by what date? It's the drop dead was July 1st, is that
I
correct?
think I thought it was July.
So, yeah.
So if we get it ready to, where they can review it up there. In June.
Sandy's, yeah, Sandy's coming over later.
Okay.
Our next meeting's in 2 weeks. At that meeting, I gotta talk to Sandy and get the current tax levy so we can get this nailed down, and we'll have a number nailed down. So much per thousand, and we're gonna talk about how we're gonna sell this thing, so. By the next time we should, and then we're gonna work on the verbiage. So we should make the July
Yeah,
thing pretty easy, I hope.
yeah, no, I think you're,
So
you got a pretty good number right now.
We're zeroing in on it. I'm happy with where it's going. And I got a Board of Health meeting today, so I'll have a report on that next week.
Okay.
About you meetings.
We had quite a few of them out there at the complex, met with contractors, I don't think it was sometime, a couple times last week, but. The spray foam on the roof is out because of the cost and due to the amount of electrical stuff we got attached to the decking. So what we're doing now is bringing in a company to look at the taking that roof off. Putting insulation underneath of it, going to a metal like we have on the sheriff's side to give us something 40, 50, 60 years. Because there's not enough insulation underneath there, and to do the same insulation part, it causes a lot of, by putting just bad insulation in there, it's not good tightness, it's causing mold, mildew. So we got that, we got the plumbing, on domestic side, getting us a bid on replacing water lines. They're all copper, green copper, so it's all starting to compromise because of the salts and stuff we put into it. It's eating through the copper. And I'm glad we had covered it all. And then the boiler piping, same way. A lot of our valves never been worked on and maintained. Many years ago, the boiler quality of water wasn't as good, so it's showing some wear on some of our equipment. So they're getting a price for that. Talked to John through IT. He's going to update there's a whole array of just wires ran all over. He's going to get it organized, get either Cat 6 or fiber into the sheriff's side for the future. Windows, had a company come out and look at them. It was out of Burlington. I don't know how that's going to work out, but just trying to get people to look at it, and then we'll do a formal bid on that, but just trying to get a lot of local contractors involved in it. I'll get a hold of a couple more and have a look at it. But yeah, there's air filters in some of the air handling units. They didn't know it was even there, and they're blinded off, I bet, because you can't get the filter out because they got a light right above it. The light's been there for probably 40, 50. The plumbing's 70, almost 70 years old, so let's get some dates on it.
It's done.
Yeah. So what else did we do out there? I think that's it out there. Tracy called this morning, said that deck, a flat deck, starting this fall and more concrete coming down. So I'll get a couple electrical guys and look at what it's gonna take to move that 208 panels inside, because the water's running right down into the boxes. The boxes are all rusted out anyway. So before we do any work, we better move our electrical out of that area. And get that done. They're supposed to water blast this building this week. I don't know today, but I think they're gonna start this afternoon, start cleaning around and mold.
The executive.
And they should finish up the end of the week over there. Hopefully, looking good. I haven't been up yet to look at the bricks, but just walking around looking at it, you can tell it really detailed on every brick. I mean, look at the difference. It looks like a brand new brick.
Well,
We got Windows, working with the Geo to get their windows,
everything else.
for their weepholes are open now. This was exciting.
I think it is, I didn't know that they would take it out of the room.
We had a waffle development meeting, looking forward to getting that properties out there. Working toward making 40 lots, trying to get with the city and trying to get, see what we can do for projects for Tim.
I'll check back with you next week.
Financially capable in the city and both groups.
I'll check around.
Had an Iowa first meeting, but I couldn't get on, listen to it, but I couldn't say anything on it. I could hear them, but they couldn't hear me, so,
That may not be a bad thing.
yeah. Other than that, that's it.
Okay, I got the Wapello Morning Sun ambulance reports. Morning Sun made 5 runs, Wapello made 49. 3 out and 1 in MSA and 2 in LCA. So. Cover there.
That was the other thing that I questioned last night. Saturday night, we were headed to Columbus Junction. And I met a car with blue light and then the ambulance behind it going to Grandview. For that general direction, so I listened to my pager. And it was a call to Louisa Courts.
What happened to the Grandview?
exactly my first thought. Why are we having an ambulance in Grandview and it was at night, so it should have been staffed. According to Jim in Columbus Junction, it was a dispatch issue. They actually had called Wapello first. And then called them off. And then called Columbus Junction. So I'd like to get with Brandon. I want to find out how the ambulances the districts are laid out.
Yeah, we need
And
to
I need to find out.
really look at that.
He kind of acted like it was resolved, but I want to make sure that's. I mean, if you think about it, Wapello was called first, then called off.
Minutes, 2 minutes.
So there's, you have 3 or 4 minutes, and then you add then you gotta call Columbus Junction. They have to get there and then drive another 10 minutes before they get to Grandview. So you just extended that call by at least 15 minutes.
If not 20.
Yeah. We gotta fix that. That can't go like that anymore.
Yeah, you would think that they would respond, even though it came out because of the same entity, you would just say, Grandview.
And maybe the dispatcher isn't familiar with the area.
I
but
heard that, but
To me, it just makes common sense, but.
yeah, I think the person with the radio on the other end can change it. We do.
Well, I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna try to figure out what's
Yeah,
going on.
we've said Adam 2 instead of Adam 1 on calls. Yeah, like it wasn't emergency transport or
Right.
something. Yeah,
Right.
nope, good point.
And then we have. I think we've all seen these, but the recorder's quarterly report. She handled $53,012.65. State come in and grabbed up $38,841.95. So the county got to keep $14,170.70. And then our auditor, she sold $84 worth of flat bucks. That's up from 60 some dollars last quarter.
We're on a roll.
We need to figure out an incentive for them to sell more or something. Pizza party, yeah.
$84 didn't go very far.
No. I thought about cookies.
Yeah, right.
Thought it'd be nice. Okay. Can't open up our deal till 9 o'clock.
Aren't you supposed to approve those?
Well, that might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta approve I need a motion to approve those two.
So,
You got it?
so moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second. All in favor?
Aye. Not to change subject, but I went out and looked at, that road that we talked about, or that guy's property last week. Out there past Darrell Walker's.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a point. If you've been out there, it looked like they just stopped the rock. It's like, really? Back that truck up another 15 feet
Did you get a hold of
and put the rock on.
No, I didn't.
Why are we arguing about this?
Yeah.
I
I
see.
explained that to him when he got his building permit. The county will not rock that road, you know. He
didn't want
he
didn't want-
years ago.
He didn't want the road rocked, he just wanted it.
But I told him that that's where it was at, and I said, you're gonna be, you can rock it, I'm just.
But if you look at the plat on it shows a 60-foot right of way down that road a ways. Which in theory. The 60-foot right of way should be a gravelled road. It goes to 40 on a dirt road. Right?
But
Am I right or wrong?
Right.
So. I think I got it.
it's 66.
So if you look at it right
Right.
here, it shows 66 to here,
That's where we should start.
right? And he's got the rock stopped here. And I'm not trying to split hairs. I'm just saying, you walk out there and you're like, really? We're arguing about this?
Yeah, it's been that way for
No,
100 years.
it's gonna change. I mean, back the truck up. I mean, yeah, remember where the tax money is being generated and who's really paying the wages, so. I mean, I don't expect him to rock the whole road, and I don't think he is either, but. I gotta get along here a little bit, and I don't know who this guy is, but I'm just being a,
Well, he pointed out that state code. A 60-foot road. Should be rocked in a 40-foot dirt,
I'm just,
and showed that that 60-foot goes. About halfway across that parcel, doesn't it?
a third of the way.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be an outside entity and look at it from a. Different perspective, and
But. If he
I
would,
mean, that's what I'm looking at, and they stopped the rock like. There,
yeah,
and all he's asking is another 20 feet.
foot.
we'll. Take it up with Adam when he gets.
Yeah, I don't wanna get into a. Yelling match over
20 feet.
20 feet of gravel. This seems silly to me. Yeah, we'll talk to him, see what he says.
Sandy, what you got?
I'm just here to help with the public hearing for the
gotcha.
second.
Gotcha.
She's gonna answer all the questions.
Didn't want to ignore
Take a
you.
message, everybody.
I'm used to being
Oh,
ignored.
really? Just in your office?
No, here.
Huh?
Yeah, they wonder why I think we got two sets of books, but Morning Sun don't have any payroll on here for this set of books. We've seen each.
I have not seen one here yet.
Explain what you see.
Probably all she's on the special plan.
No, they got payroll. It's under major expenses. Right here.
But where's the check on the back?
Oh,
Well, it comes out of their account, not what.
yeah. It's not there.
So where would you, that's why I said.
So, yeah, who's getting paid?
Yeah, and how much? That's why I said the other day, there's two sets of books, because there's no payroll check in there. There's an item for it, but it don't show the check. Unless I missed it.
Well, I'll talk to Colin about that.
I never see what they get paid. And who is the payroll? How much is it going to? I know when my business suffers, I don't make out a payroll check to myself.
Haven't either.
So I don't know. That's just question.
Okay.
I think there's two sets of books.
I'll ask him.
Thank you.
Well, we looked at this. Oh, I gotta sign it.
Yeah, we already. Okay, we're really. In 5 minutes can open up our public hearing. And then we should have Adam coming in anytime and Roxanne at 9:15, and then we're. The rest of the businesses. Pertaining to the public hearing and Adam.
Adam's not here today.
Always not.
No. Adam shut. Oh, Adam shut, okay. I thought they were Adam Cottle.
Nope.
Got too many Adams.
So Adam Shut won't be here today.
Down he goes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Adam Cottle, okay, so we can't ask about this Washington letter.
He went to meetings this week.
Okay.
I did get with Ryan. I want to say his last name Straw. He's with the DNR. Region 6 on my tires. He contacted me yesterday and said that he was gonna contact him, he's gonna give him until the end of the month to clean them up, and then he's gonna turn it over to his legal team.
Yeah, there's more there.
I told him
I
that.
saw him
My
cleaning up
email
some
that I
other
sent him.
stuff yesterday, he's had a big burn pile out there, he was burning his trash or something, so. End of the month is coming quick,
Mhm.
that. Couple of weeks. Well, he's gonna be working hard to get rid of all the tires in a couple of weeks,
Yeah, okay, I don't know.
and I know what it costs to get rid of. $3 or $4 a piece.
For an extension.
You got-
You don't have to grant it.
I know, but that's,
Hey, right down.
And. And being a guy today.
Yeah.
we're ready for your update. Adam.
Oh, you're with my update already. Okay, go.
Front and center,
At 9 o'clock, let's stop you for
a public hearing.
public hearing. I wouldn't know.
Public hearing, eh? Alright. So today, today, where I washed off bridges and cleaning them up. Got both crews. Working together on that. Rest guys are out blading and things like that, so. In the office, I got those plans out for the bidders, for back from a couple, and hopefully we'll keep hearing from more here eventually. What else going on the overweight bridge permit, all systems thing, I talked to our consulting engineer, about the one there on the K road, page 22. And, it's a 1959 bridge, it's a slab bridge, so all the concrete is in the bridge deck. And, actually, crawled in there and looked at it, there's only 5 piers in it. The one that we built up at Good Gladwin had 7 piers in it. So it's under design for an overweight load, and there's really nothing they could do nothing we can do just to up it. Frankly, it's probably sketchy to even pass 80,000 pounds now, so. That one, there's not really anything I can do to make it carry the overweight loads, so, the K road, I've had people, taking things from Tri-Oak in and out, or taking things down to meters. There's nothing that can really be done to that bridge to allow it to carry 90,000 pounds. So we'll add a list of bridges to get done at some point. I know in 2015 or 16 we decked it. We put on a concrete overlay and it's made it a pretty passable bridge and all that, but I don't know that this 90,000 pound thing was planned at that time, so.
Right.
How old is that bridge again?
1959, so it's got wooden, wooden piles, and underneath it's got abutments, and then it has piers in the middle, and the ones we're doing now use 57 pounds per square foot steel, and there are 7 of them. Those are all precast concrete, and there's like 5 of them. So I mean, it's just not built for these loads. So, so in case anybody asks, that's why. I mean, I can't open up that road because the bridge just won't handle it. And actually, we're gonna post it for the 28, 40, which means all legal loads can pass it. But even at that, it's not. The inspector said that they're kind of. I don't know what the word is. They're being a little bit generous, even to have it open at that level weight now, so.
It should have been replaced in 2000 when they redid the road.
Not really. You go to this creek.
Oh, it's Fifth Creek, which goes all the way over to Dartmouth, so I mean, it's a
Oh,
big,
wow.
it's a big thing.
It's a big watershed.
Chris, if you ever wanna get that big lake there
Yeah.
that you're talking about, we could just build over top of it.
And it's not, I want to open, I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for following for partials
Second.
82, 81, 2000, and all the way up through 48, 100 from A1 to B1.
Second.
Okay, you got a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing is open.
So, yeah, I remember, what was it back in the 70s or 80s, there was talk about a big lake there.
Yeah, it's designed.
Yeah.
It would be cool.
Well,
Get your dozer out there.
there's enough rock, I doubt if it would hold water. All along that part of the watershed.
Yeah. So.
A hydroelectric dam.
Yeah.
Make some money.
So,
I'd have all the right away on the south side, all the lake from up on the south side.
so I know that's probably our most requested road, and I just wanted to let you guys know that, you know, there's a reason why it isn't open for overweight loads, so. So other than that, up on the W66 bridge, they're working on that. They got some of the wood done, getting ready to tie some steel. They weren't here yesterday, and they're gonna be kind of in and out here the next couple weeks, because they got bridge decks to pour here and there and things like that too, so. Anyway, progress on that,
I stopped and looked at the railroad going under the bridge. I'm gonna be very interested to see how they're gonna pull this off. How they're gonna cram 2 railroads underneath that bridge.
I don't know.
Have you seen it? Have you
that's-
stopped and looked at
And
it?
there's people on it.
I walked it the other day.
I don't know how this is gonna work.
Yeah. I got some pictures, pretty good pictures.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch.
And it's gonna go 100 yards south of that, or east of that bridge. I
The
think.
way those bridges are designed, you're. I
I don't know.
I don't know
I
how
don't
they're gonna
either.
do the hills.
don't know how they're
They're
gonna
steep.
do
That's
Without
a place kind of action. Yeah, I was asked by a guy, so was that all a creek there at one time? Like, I don't think it was a creek. I think they just dug
it.
it
It made it, yeah.
because you have to go from here to here and you can't
Yeah.
go over the bluff. You gotta
Yeah.
go through the bluff there, so. So, anyway.
Original railroad road.
Yeah, so. Other than that, I don't have a lot else to report on. We do have that utility permit, I guess. David.
I went out and looked at this road on, which street is that? 35th Street, past Darrell Walker's. He was in after you were in. Last week, and was a little upset that the rock didn't go up here. So I started looking at it, and this is a 60.
Yes, it is 66. So we have, so in our system, we have. Obviously, well, not all, but almost all of our gravel roads are all 66 or wider. Roads established after like 19 or 1866 or something like that are all 66 foot. Unless otherwise noted.
Okay.
So we have some 66 foot wide dirt ones that were never upgraded from dirt to gravel.
Okay.
So that there's this line here. West of here has never been.
Right.
Never been. So I told our guys though, so his
driveway's like right here,
well,
and that's where the rock stops.
yeah.
And what he was saying, can you just get, is it too much to ask a back truck up there and put 20 feet of rock?
So the problem with that is, we've got a handful of people. There's a guy up on V Avenue who built a McMansion up there, right, on a dirt road. And the agreement that we've had with people that build on a dirt road is that you have two choices. Either pay to upgrade it to a gravel road, that's bringing the dirt, making ditches, adding rock to it. Option one, and then if the developer does that, we will maintain it as a gravel road, which means it gets plowed and bladed and mowed and all that. If you do not want to do that, we allow you to treat a dirt road as your own private driveway. That you can put down your own rock and get back to your house there. So what was I saying here? So more often than not, developers have chosen to do option two. You guys know that guy that does solar up there on D Avenue up by Kibble Bridge. It isn't Agley's, is it?
Yeah.
But he built that great big house a bit back in there, and that's the way that is. There's a guy last year built one up on W Avenue just south of 92. You know, it was just another 100 feet or so. So that's the way we've been doing it, because you know you do it for a little bit, and then all of a sudden you're graveling dirt roads up back to houses. I know before I was here, it was no, you just can't, and we've opened it to allow people to invest their own money to get back there. That was offered to those people, and they said, well, we'll just go off the gravel road and go back to the house. So
I appreciate you drawing the line, because you're right. If you
yeah,
this is 10 feet and it's 20, and if we're long it's 100, I can appreciate that.
and to be honest, you know, if there was money, or if people were willing to donate the right of way, I wouldn't mind upgrading a bunch of those roads, because you know.
Well, I don't think he's asking to upgrade the whole road.
Right.
He's just asking to get to his property and not go through mud.
Yeah.
So
If he'd donate 20 foot, you could probably make a gravel road there.
Yep. We're good. So
well,
but
back in here. So we know how to respond to him, because I didn't know how to respond to him.
so when that original complaint came in, I went out and looked at it, and we probably hadn't rocked it back as far as we were required to. So I had Jerry go out and haul rock up to
that point,
up to the line there, I guess,
Yeah.
because I think after that last house, we just kind of quit, which that's not what we were supposed to do, but it was addressed at the time, so. But yeah, I mean, I've got a list of probably 5 of those roads that I'm like, why wasn't it ever gravel? You know, that one to the north of Morning Sun there, right? It's like gravel, and then there's like a quarter mile that is, and I'm like, why wasn't that ever incorporated or not?
Q Avenue, I think is that Q Avenue?
You have
On the right side.
Yeah, it's nothing down there, but there's a bridge about halfway, and
Bridge
dirt.
ties into, yeah.
where's that at?
Morning
Q,
Sun,
Yeah,
north of Morning Sun,
yeah.
the first road running east and west.
Oh, no, that'd be
That Q?
30th.
Was that 30th?
Yeah, and
Off of Q.
yeah,
Q. There you go.
and that's one that we could probably do ourselves for pretty easily, you know, yeah.
So that way.
I don't think there's any houses on it. I mean, it connects 2 roads, but
It just ties it to.
ties the 2 together. Yeah.
Oh,
But it's
okay.
a gravel ends.
Farm access is,
so when Lansing built their washing station there, they asked if we could upgrade the road, and I gave them the same options. You know, and they said, well, we'll just gravel it ourselves, because it's just a lot cheaper. So. Well, so anyway, you know,
So we just need to get back with him and tell him that option.
yeah. And if anybody out there wanted to donate some land, I mean, I'd be happy to connect that road, because it's just dumb that it doesn't, but It doesn't.
Okay, just so we have,
Yeah.
where you know how to respond, 'cause
Yeah,
I drove out there and I looked at it, I'm like, really? Just throw a couple more shovels of rock out there.
yeah. So,
But you're right, you gotta draw the line, you gotta stay
Yeah.
on. I get that.
We need a motion here on this building permit for, right away.
14.
Yeah.
You looked at it, Sean?
No,
that's up the substation up there at G 36 up
Just
there.
for green bid power.
Yeah.
not the one that got crashed through.
Up in that area, yes.
Yeah. All right, I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
You got a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
All right, guys, thank you.
Anything else for us?
Nope, any questions for me or?
Okay.
All right,
Thank
thanks,
you.
guys.
Thanks. I'll make a motion to close the public hearing. It's been 10 minutes.
So move.
Okay, got a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, public hearing is closed.
And since they've had pretty much, they had a open discussion, they had a couple people come in on the planning and zoning. I'd like to make a motion to waive the final 2 readings for the amendment for planning and zoning maps.
So move.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Then we could probably do 10.
Want me
Do
to,
you do resolution 10 there?
I'll make a motion to accept resolution 202320.
I'll second that.
Okay, got a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, well, all three get to sign this one.
Roxanne, our meeting's at 1:30 today.
Yes.
Can I do my orientation after that?
Ooh,
No,
no, I
okay,
have to have a Burdette, sorry.
no, that's fine, no problem. I'm just trying to squeeze it in and
Shoot, I would have planned it,
it's okay. We'll
we'll try to do it, sometimes that you.
Just right through
just
that.
Random times, if you can.
It-
Try to connect. On Monday.
okay, springtime for me is real tough because I gotta get these cars done and out, everybody's, oh. So it's really tough, but we'll work it in. I'm not trying to ignore you. I want you to know that.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Let me know if you have any time on Monday, because like I said, I know she's coming
I'm
anyways.
headed to Maryland on Friday. I'm hoping to be back Sunday night with a car. I have to deliver a car to Maryland, so
We'll get it in.
we'll see what we can do.
Okay. Just know in the meantime,
Trying
if
to
you have any questions, to let me or her know.
I don't have a problem asking stupid questions. So. If I don't know, I'll
That's
ask.
good every day.
Alright.
Okay, we're ready for you, Roxanne. Yeah,
Right.
for your update in person.
I know, it's nice out and I still have a car available to me, so I thought, what the heck, let's go in.
Good to see you.
Thanks, you too. So right now I'm working on finishing up the last of the just grant renewals for FY 24. And then also due at the end of this week is a quarterly progress report for our state grant funding. So that's what I've been doing immediately this week. Kind of longer term, oh, and also coming up in this month, I have the VSC stuff, the Vaccine for Children's program. That allows us to get the free vaccine from the state and give it to underinsured or state insured kids. The VSC audit and then milestones audits, I both have coming up this month. They'll come in person to the facility for that. And then kind of longer term things, we're really working on a coffee well, we've always had a coffee program. COVID kind of slowed our coffee program, we'll say, but it is a requirement of CMS that the certified home health agencies have a pretty strong coffee program. So Leah is kind of my coffee coordinator, so to speak. We've been working on kind of revamping that. I know she's going to present where we're at the board meeting this afternoon, and just kind of coming up with new data so that we can have what they call a PIP, a performance improvement project. But we don't have any data to suggest what our PIP should be yet. So, and we thankfully, gratefully had an awesome survey as you know, in January. A lot of times that's where we find the data needed to make an improvement, and it was really, a really great one, so we didn't get anything out of that for a coffee program. So that's gonna be presented at the board meeting today, kind of our direction and what we're gonna do with that moving forward. And then the other thing I've been putting a lot of time into is a cost report analysis for our home health department. I was actually hoping to talk about that at board meeting today. I pushed it off until next month because I'm diving pretty deep into it, looking at insurance reimbursements, or what maximum could be if we build it versus our cost for each service we provide, and trying to find that happy balance between what our cost for each service should be based off of reimbursement,
Right.
while also keeping costs low to people who pay out of pocket, but getting the reimbursement to the taxpayers of Louisa County to lower the county cost of the home health program. So that's kind of a big one for me. I've been working on, and I'm hoping to have that all ready to talk about next month at the Board of Health meeting. What else? Last week in April, I don't know if I told you guys, but I've been asked by the state to be on a steering committee, for lack of a better
You said
word.
that last year, I think you was at same.
Well, that's the collaborative. I'm still on that.
Okay.
I'm still on that for year two. That collaborative, statewide collaborative will be in September, but they've also asked me to send on a different one, this one for the community health assessment. So the community health assessment is a public health requirement for every county every 5 years. It's been longer than 5 years. It got postponed for COVID, but it's due next year.
That's good.
Anyways, they want some input on local input on how it's working and what could be improved, and just kind of digging into, it's been a requirement for a very long time and it hasn't changed for a very long time. So I think they're looking for local eyes and ears to give them feedback. So I'll be doing that. I'll be in Des Moines the last weekend, not the whole week, but a couple days, the last week in April. And then, yeah, Board of Health meeting today at 1:30.
I didn't know if he's aware or not, but I called Milestone 2 weeks ago, sent out a thing to people that was not on Medicaid.
Milestone only serves people not on Medicaid. That's what their program, that's the niche that their programs serve.
And they was doing others that paid for it to bring meals in, and they cut them off. So I called and talked to state. Yesterday they did reactivate it for the people that took off, but that's.
We also have some
serious.
patients that were gonna have meals stopped, and we luckily got that fixed
Yes.
for them.
Yes. That's
I'm speaking just out of my own guesstimations, not any facts, but I'm assuming as all this COVID money is drying up, so did extra funding for their meals.
I think so too.
Um,
So I don't know if you talk to anybody in the state, I'm gonna do it, but we have a large group of. I'm gonna say males that had their spouses that was passed cook for them, and they never learned how to cook. I'm talking about 3 of them I know real well. Or they cut them off meals, and that's just dangerous. I mean, they're toward the end of their lives, and
It is, but they also have a responsibility to look at their income and see, could they afford a delivered meal, or could that's
what
kind
they're
of the
going through.
balance.
That's all I'm saying, but on behalf of them, I think the state's gotta get readjusted about. There's a large, we're still in a baby boomer, and this group up here, I speak for Chris and myself, we're at the end of it, the baby boomers. There's so many of us retired. I can cook everything. I do all most of the cooking at home, but we have a large group of them that I think sometimes we overlook their needs, even though they have good jobs and they had money on it, but they still, the cooking part, my dad's example of it, he just don't know how to cook. Lazy or whatever, call whatever it is. But I'm worried about their nutrition, and whatever we can do to make sure that program stay on it. I don't know what the answer is, but they're willing to pay for it, but they're expensive. It's $12 a meal for Milestone if you don't have any subsidies. $12.
Are they still delivering to homes?
They just started again. I talked to 2 of them out there, not to mention any names, but they just got the call yesterday. They get back on the list. I was hoping from the calls that I'll call it Des Moines and everywhere else, but it's something that we need to really, it's a flag, because they're gonna dry. I know they're quitting. They don't want to live anymore. Most of them, they're ready for death because their spouse of 60, 70 years has passed. And that's just another reason for them not to want to be around, and I want to make sure they get nutrition. That's the only thing. I don't know how else to do it. I took them out meals while they cut them off.
Are they
I can't.
are they homebound or are they able to?
Kind of.
that would
They
be
can
the-
still drive, they have licenses, but they choose not to, so.
And that's right there, you just hit on, if there's an option for them to get in the car and go to a meal site,
Yeah.
and they're just choosing not to,
Because of their eyesight, they get licensed.
well, then they shouldn't have a license.
That's- But you know what, the doctors keep giving them license, and I questioned him on my dad, he had a major stroke, he lost a lot of his memory. And the doctor said he could start driving, I looked at him like, no.
Yeah.
And because he don't remember where he's at. And that's where a lot of these guys are, they forget where they're at and they get lost, so can they really get there?
Should they?
Yes, should they
Right,
get there?
yeah. Now, I
That's
know,
where I'm
I know where you're coming from, and in an ideal world, I'd love for, it's just, it's such, when you're talking about state and ultimately federal dollars coming down, they have to look at these criteria, can they drive, you know, do they have the income? So that they can filter through, because like I said, the milestones is not for Medicaid.
I know,
And so they have to really kind of look at the lower
get it.
income that don't qualify. I see where you're coming from.
but we
it's
need to have a
tricky-
group that don't willing to pay for it, but come up with something that. Maybe some knowledge for these people in here, tell them this is where you can go to, you know, if it's grandma's kitchen.
Well, you mean for the actual meals?
Yeah,
Yeah.
cause I don't think they're educated very well, or maybe they're not retaining what they're telling them, I don't know, but. I get called on it, and like I said, I cooked them all. Easter meals and stuff, they have food, but I can't continue to do it. But
Well, let's have a conversation someday about more specifics of what exactly they're needing or looking for, and see if we can't resource connect for them
they need
at
nutrition somehow.
yeah.
And better than the crackers and
Right.
stuff they have, because they can't cook. And it's getting to be more and more as, and as we put more elderly apartments in the area, I think it's just be a growing demand.
Okay, well, let's have a
Yeah,
conversation someday, because I think Iowa State Extension could possibly offer some of the education. They do a lot of nutritional education.
Yeah.
And then if we can connect the resources to the actual
yeah.
food.
If you just hear anything, that's my input coming from the people I have out there, that's scary.
So they do the meals during the week, they don't do them on the weekends, do they?
No, but the Grandma's Corner, what is that?
Yeah, there's some that you can get delivered,
They bring like
and
20 frozen meals.
they'll fit it so that you can have the meal site
Mm.
days, yeah. Yes,
Well,
but you're right, when you fall income just above that
Yeah.
Medicaid level, they're expensive.
Well, when I was at Wapello, as mayor of Wapello, I worked real closely with them, and because they do it out of the Briggs Center, and they've cut back, I mean, they had meals inside.
Yeah.
They just didn't have a very good turnout, they get 2 or 3 people show up, and so they cut that out, and they cut some of the help back, and
No, it's a great organization. I'm not
It's-
cutting it, but it's
I
just
know.
the funding of
It's,
it.
like anything else, it's a business, and
Yeah,
you know,
Do they still have a community meal at the Methodist?
Mhm.
that's once a
It's once a month, but yeah. But again, people have to show up to it.
yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's,
There. Is our home health care nurses busy or is there?
we've done some admits, but we've kind of hit a slump where we've had some. All at once, we had several move, like out of state, like, where are you going? So our nurses are actually up, I believe, it's our aides that have lost some of the homemaker and bathing, so I know we have openings for all 3 services.
Okay. I just,
Yeah.
people ask about that.
Yep, no, we have openings and we're at full staff, so. If you know anybody looking for services, have them give us a call.
thank you for what you guys do.
Yeah, no problem.
Makes a difference.
We enjoy it. You guys have a good day.
Yep.
You too.
And I'll see you.
Good seeing you. Yep.
Okay,
See you later.
thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Yeah.
Any other business?
That's all I see. I think I've checked everything off. my
Oh,
list.
wait,
Randy?
Randy's got something.
Skip it over.
Oh, public input. Okay. We got a public input.
I got a question about the cemetery money. you know, that you said you had, months ago. And I think it was for the Pioneer.
Yeah.
Stuff. What qualifies to be Pioneer?
There's a criteria, is it, so many years.
Before somebody's been buried there.
Burial.
The
Yeah.
burial. It has to be, I think it's 50 years.
Raymond would know, I can.
Randy would know exactly. But
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the cemetery itself.
Yeah,
yes,
It's not just a stone in the cemetery.
no,
no, it's a burial. In that,
they haven't had a burial in 25 years
Yeah.
or 30 years or some number. And
Okay. I've been doing quite a bit of work out at the cemetery.
Yeah.
At Granby. And I know of one, and I know there's more. Of those white,
yeah,
I don't even know what they're made out of.
probably line.
It-
Is that one sitting out on that thing? I tried fixing the top and you can't do it. It's sitting on that ledge.
Well,
Shed.
yeah, on the bench.
Yeah.
There's one there.
Yeah,
But there's one it's complete, it just fell over.
yeah.
It needs a new foundation under it. And I don't know how or.
I've been watching on YouTube how to fix them, trying to get it where you can not change the appearance of it. And see, that one there is the cemetery board. Kind of has people come in once in a while and set the stones up right, or volunteers.
And I've been doing that.
Yeah,
That we went out and did that, yeah.
especially on that north end. A lot of the old ones up there are really
Yeah,
fading down.
tipping over.
Yeah, I went through it the other day, or last year, was out there kind of going through all that. Trying to fix that one and trying to come up with a better way to fix it, but I think it's limestone. Or sandstone, because it's no,
Yeah,
yeah, it's really brittle.
yeah. And I didn't know if that applied to that or not. So I need to go to the trustees.
Yes,
Okay, that's fine.
on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's several around here that
And I've just been working on Grandview, like cutting the brush around the fences, down tree limbs,
yeah,
you know, different things like that. Setting the stones back up.
yeah, they're having a hard time. The trustees are getting older. Something we need to step up as younger generation, take some of them over, because a lot of them are getting.
It's been that way forever.
Yeah,
It was always, you know,
same people have been doing it for a long time. Yeah. Nope.
okay,
Yeah,
that's fine.
Any more for the board?
No,
we'll make a motion to adjourn. then.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
One I set on a bench there last year, and I tried to come up with it, but YouTube's got a pretty good thing on there. I'm just trying to figure out where it don't deface the stone, but it puts everything together. And they're making a basket to go around them to hold all the bricks together. You just put them back in.
Yeah.
And it goes around. It's like a metal, I got a vendor for like metal for like doing rebar